Hi, it is Ernest Bates. Do you remember me? I live in Teton Valley in Driggs. I'm getting a little older now, obviously. And when I was about 21, I went on a mission. And I went to the Southern States Mission, which means you go to the Southern States. It's pretty simple. We just had one mission for all of the South. And I spent most of my time in Mississippi. And I served out a good mission, and I came home, and I married a girl named Mary Ellen, and she had she went by Ellen. We just called her Ellen, and we lived in Chester, Idaho, and that is by St. Anthony. And we had a farm. We had a pretty good life. And I was bishop. I got called as bishop, which I wasn't expecting, but that's how it goes. And so we had 7 kids, Ellen and I. And then Ellen got sick. That was very sad, but we couldn't get her to get better. We couldn't help her. And she died and left me with 7 little kids. Well, we had one baby die, so I had 6 little kids, and I needed someone to help me take care of them. And there was another girl that we knew, and she had like babysat our kids sometimes, as kind of was called, and her name was Louise, Sarah Louise Butler. And so we knew her, and I was 10 years older than she was. A little bit of age difference, but I thought she was kind of nice. She's kind of nice, and I needed a mom for my little kids. And so we got married. And we had a good life also. We did very well together. And we moved back to Driggs, Idaho. And we had 10 kids. Holy cow, that's a lot of kids. And this is our family coming along a little bit. That's us. There's Ernest right there. And there's me. And that is our kids so far. 10 of our 10 kids. And so, and our oldest boy is named Stephen LeGrand Bates. Maybe you know him. And so this is our kids, and we had a good life. I quite enjoyed it. We lived on a farm, and I just loved taking care of my kids and the farm, and this was a fullness of joy to me. As you can see, this is me right there. See how happy I am? I'm holding one of my little babies. And that's some of our kids and some other family. We just had family all over the place, I tell you. And I love taking care of my little babies and taking care of my farm. And I would make bread quite frequently. And that is my bread recipe. And it's very basic measurements, if you can see that. I made 6 loaves of bread with that to take care of my family. And we had a good life. Ernest, you need to know, it's kind of funny. He has a very hot temper, which means he gets mad really easily. Something happens. And he had to work on that. And he worked on that his whole life. And I'm very proud of him. He did very well. And here is a picture of all of us. There's my whole family. There's me right in the middle, and there's Louise, and Ellen, of course, has died. But Ellen and I had 7 kids, and then Louise and I had 10. And can you imagine having that many brothers and sisters? Those are all brothers and sisters right there. Holy cow! I had a lot of kids. I'm very proud of them. Yes, I am. And now here's another picture of us. You can see this is about half of our kids. We couldn't get them all. You can see the Tetons in the background. Have you seen those mountains before? You ever seen those mountains? But that's some of our kids also. And so we moved into a house in Driggs that used to be the post office. Driggs finally got a post office. We didn't have to go to Rexburg. And it used to, and this house is not here anymore. You can't go see it. But it's a very nice old house. And like a lot of old houses, it didn't have any hallways. How does that work? You went from one bedroom into the next bedroom, and from that bedroom into the next bedroom. You didn't have any hallways. You just went right through the bedrooms. Is that kind of weird? A lot of old houses did that. And it also, it didn't have any water. So we had to get all of our water from the stream. There's a stream outside, and that's where our water came from. And you lead the animals down, because we had cows and stuff, because we milked cows, and that's our stream. Very nice stream. Okay, so you lead the animals down and let them drink, and then you just get a bucket of water, and I would usually have the kids do this, and get some water and take it back to the house. Here we go. And that's the water that we used, because we didn't have any water in the house, and we didn't have any electricity. No electricity in that house, but it was a good house. We liked living there. And so we didn't have, like a heater or anything. We just have a wood stove. You put wood in there, and that heated the house. And we had some of our grandkids also living with us, and they remembered some stuff. He says, when you go to bed at night, go to bed, and you pile so many blankets on, because it gets cold. You don't have a heater. You just have a wood stove, and it gets cold at night when the fire goes out. And so you'd sleep warm enough, just like that, sleeping nice and warm. And in the morning, when you had time to get up, they'd start a fire when it wasn't real warm yet, and we didn't have any carpet. Not upstairs, we didn't have any carpet. And so he would get up, and it was so cold at night that the floor was sticky with the condensation that would freeze on the floor. Inside the house, it would freeze on the floor. Oh my goodness. And so when you'd walk on the floor, stick, hurry, get dressed, because it's really cold. Oh my goodness, that's what it was like in the winter. And for that, that stream in the winter when the animals are drinking and it starts snowing. It's snowing like crazy. It's drinks. We got snow all over the place. You had to take an axe out and break through the ice. And then the animals could get through the snow and the ice and get a drink and get your water out of that ice. And it was a pretty good stream, but honestly, sometimes if we had family come visit, they would get sick just from drinking our water. It wasn't super clean. It was good water. It tasted good, and we were used to it. We didn't get sick, and they didn't get very sick, but it was just kind of a different water. And Ernest would play his violin, and some of our girls could play the piano, and they could just play music. It was very beautiful to listen to. We could just have music all the time at our house. They'd just sit down and play. And Ernest got called to the bishopric again, and I was in that bishopric for 22 years. That's a long time, just so you know. But it was a good calling. I enjoyed it. And our church house was this one, and maybe you have seen it. There are trees growing around it now, but it's still there. You can see that church house. And it didn't have water either. There was no water. And one day when I left for church, I wasn't sure if my family was going to be ready in time. You know, that happens. So I just left and started walking to church, and I thought, oh, I forgot something. I went back and washed my hands at our house where we had some water, because I might get asked to help with the sacrament, and I wanted my hands to be clean. There's no water at the church house, so I hurried and washed my hands, and then I walked to church. And Ernest, he was a good man. He really was. He would borrow a tractor now and then. He'd borrow a tractor, and if it had just a little bit of gas in it, he'd return it full of gas, full of gasoline for it. That's just something nice that he did. This is us as we're getting older. Are we kind of a cute old couple? We're holding one of our grandbabies. This is Stephen's daughter, Martha. Isn't she cute? And you see our Christmas tree. We like our Christmas tree, and we liked our family, and we lived a very good life. And and one other thing, this is kind of interesting. We had church at night in our little church house. Remember our little church house? It was at night, and it was 2 hours of sacrament meeting. You guys have 1 hour. That must be nice. We had 2 hours of sacrament meeting, and so let me tell you, you went to church at 8 o'clock at night, and you wanted to make sure you got the cows milked before you went to church at night, because then you'd get home at 10 o'clock at night, and you're tired, and it's late, and you still got to milk the cows. You got to get those cows milked, because you have to milk the cows. And so we missed it a few times. But anyway, we got it. But we worked hard. We worked hard, and we enjoyed life. And I hope we made a good life for you. I hope you like coming to Driggs, because we sure liked living there.